by Nirali Prakashan, New Delhi. He is also pursuing PhD in Clinical Pharmacology from School of Pharmaceutical and Healthcare Sciences, CT University, Ludhiana. Now, I request Mr. Sourabh Kosey to please take over the session. Sourabh, sir. Mr. Sourabh Kosey. Mr. Sourabh Kosey, I welcome you to please take over the session.
Sure, ma'am. Thanks. Thank you so much, ma'am, for introducing me. I'm thankful to whole CT University Ludhiana for inviting me for the online webinar on the topic patient safety, past, present, and future. So I'm working over here as associate professor in Department of Pharmacy Practice. So once again, thanks to City University. So to start with the presentation, just few days back in last week, World Clinical Trial went on 28th of May. So since 2005, this World Clinical Trial is being celebrated in the memory of Sir James Lind. He was the person who first conducted the successful clinical trial as per the biomedical ethics worldwide. So on his memory, we are going to start the session with today. So when we start about the top 5 professions of the world, the foremost profession is firefighters with the 92%. Whenever any fire casualty is there, we need to ask fire extinguishers, firefighters in the municipal corporation, and they will come within short span of time and save the lives of the people. When it comes to save the life of the people's patients or common men, they work. Number 2 is airline pilots. It is said that if we are doing air travel, literally you will see that if any air accident is there, the chances of survival is less and casualty is more. No fracture, rips, likewise only suddenly 95% death. So we gave our life in hands of them. So they are the most trusted second number position profession in the world. Number 3rd comes as the nursing staff. You can see during COVID-19 pandemic or in hospitals, inpatient, outpatient, nursing homes, hospitals, private setup hospitals, you'll find that day and night, very restlessly they are working. The most communication between patients among the all healthcare professionals is of nursing staff. The 4th position comes is of pharmaceuticals, pharmacist, either from e-pharmacy, hospital pharmacy, clinical pharmacy, industrial pharmacy, community pharmacy. So pharmacist plays a major backbone role in the industry. The last one, 5th position, it comes physicians, doctors. In India, they are considered as God. They save the life of the peoples. So doctors, physicians comes at 5th position. To start with the theme of the webinar, I will be going with the past. So in past, disasters as well as milestones. So starting with 605 BC, Book of Daniel. This is considered to be the world's first unrecorded clinical trial in the Book of Daniel, where one king done a clinical trial with several groups, 2 groups. One group was eating meat and drink only wine, and another group was totally on the vegetarian diet for continuous 10 days. And the outcome, you will see that the vegetarian peoples were found to be more healthy comparatively to the non-vegetarian. 500 BC, the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocrates was a social scientist. He is considered to be the father of medicine. If some physician, doctor, start their practice after successful completion of their degree, MBBS, MD, first they need to have a certain kind of, you can say, Hippocratic oath, in which they used to take the oath that they will practice very ethically, very judicially to the patient day and night. Next is Avicenna. So the therapy of any patient should be started with herbal therapy. This is written in the Canon of Medicine, which is a medical encyclopedia. Meanwhile, there is no record of the application of such principles that we should go with the phytopharmaceuticals or the herbal products. This is the Canon of Medicine. Then Sir James Lind Scurvy experimentation, in which they used 12 peoples into 6 groups, each groups containing 2 peoples, and they used some additional things into their regular diet like cedar, sulfuric acid, seawater, vinegar, oranges, lemons, and this spicy paste with the raw water. One group was receiving citrus fruits, the another was these things. So they conducted the trial and found that the group receiving the citrus fruit found to be very much impactful and healthy. Then in 1928, Sir Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. This penicillin is considered to be the accidental discovery in a petri dish in his laboratory. Due to mistake, it was put on over there and a mold growed over there, and this drug is becoming the most prominent blockbuster drug, life-saving drug, antibiotic. During 1939 to 1945, World War II, Nazism era, it is said that in Germany, lot of unethical experimentations, various racial ideologies results into the permanent loss of life, upper limbs, lower limbs, without anesthesia were cut it. So it is very much unhumanitarian during this period. 1944 to 1974, human radiation experimentations. So the human radiation experiments along with the coal water in US, around 4,000 citizens were done, experimented very much secretly without biomedical ethics, and resulted into the atomic radiation on the human body. And due to radiopharmaceuticals and these problems, you will find that there were no certain kind of disfigurement. Then Declaration of Helsinki. Declaration of Helsinki is the 10 principles necessary for ethical human code, developed by the World Medical Association. So at Finland, Japan, Ankit sir, please come. So in Japan, these trials were conducted, and it was found that, you will find that as they gave a set of principles of good clinical practices, in which 1957 to 1962 Thalidomide Disaster was happened in the Republic of United Kingdom, where a drug called thalidomide was widely used, and this thalidomide was resulting in the malformation, deformations of upper limbs and lower limbs deformations, and due to it, the newborns which were found born during this period were found to be with their upper and lower limbs were not normal. So you can see right now how their lives are right now. So this was the greatest medical disaster in which lot of harm was there. Then 1974, FDA Bureau of Medical Devices and Diagnostic Products, which went on with the key principles of clinical trial. In 1979, the Belmont report came into the scenario with the respect for persons. It means either honorarium of the patient, compensation guidelines, any organ damage, any organ failure, or any kind of, you can say, loss to the participants, either healthy volunteers or the subjects. Second, what beneficence means the patient should be benefited. And the third, if any harm occurs, the patient should give the justice. In 1990, by year of 1990, ICH guidelines came. In the European Union, they seated over there, they did a meeting, and for the harmonization of mankind, humanity, they came with the 4 guidelines, principles, safety guidelines, efficacy guidelines, quality guidelines, miscellaneous guidelines. And these guidelines were considered with the 1996 ICH guidelines, E6 guidelines. In between 1990 and 1996 and 93, MedWash was launched by US FDA. This FDA issues warnings, recalls, withdrawals, labeling changes to protect the public health. So this is how the good clinical practice came into the force in 1996. So as you can see in the picture, world's first aid kit, where a lot of big bottles are over there with the tincture, lozenges, and lot of first aid material. How big the size is, you can see. In the right hand side picture, you can see the first oxygen stores. So the first oxygen store containing a child in a cabinet, and a whole surrounding area of that cabinet needed to be oxygen supplied. This is the gut decontamination with the help of some activated charcoal universal dot antidote. If somebody have taken any kind of, can say, toxic poisonous substance inside the body, in that case we need to do the gut decontamination, but inside the hospital at that time this was not able. So the physician took, emergency medical officer took the person outside the hospital. This is the world's first IV medication. I'm telling you, the world's first nursing staff has done. In the picture you can see world's first pacemaker. We'll see that the cardiologist Paul Jaw from Boston has one hand is as the heart, cardiac region, thoracic cavity, and the another one is at the knob. So this is all very first in the world. I am showing you the pictures from the history. This is the picture of pediatric artificial respirator. The whole body of the infant is inside this respirator. To conduct the ECG, the first world Holter laptop in the year of 1949. This is the world's first headphones. When coming for particularly headphones are widely used to check out the oscillation process, to hear the sound. By hearing the sound, we can come to the blood pressure, heart rate, respiratory rate. It is also into the stethoscopes to hear the oscillation, but the size you can see how much big it is. This is the world's first blood transfusion. Into it you can say that the donor arm was directly to the recipient to avoid clotting, connecting the donor artery with the respirator vein. So it was at very early stages of medical sciences, hematological sciences, blood transfusion. This is the world's first ambulance, because you can see the animal over there is horse. One question generally comes, why only horse, not any other animal? Because horse is considered to be the source of energy in terms of the science of physics. Horsepower is the unit of SI unit of energy. So horse were considered to be more fast comparatively to get a sick person, ill person patient from one place to another. This is world's first generation pacemaker. It is an external pacemaker where it was put it artificial respirator. We have gone in the previous slides. So polio was very at the chronic stage worldwide at that time. You can see for the child entertainment suffering from polio and getting treatment, respirator, you can see the size, the tube, all the things were so chronic. This is world's first chest X-ray for the infant. This is the umbilical cord used previously while having the newborn to cut the umbilical cord. Now this picture is sort of funny as well as shocking also. The dental bridge of this image is post-mortem comparatively to fix the problems of dentist. We visit to the dentist if we have any kind of oral problems into the teeth. But you will see how the bridge is made, how the teeth are connected to each other. Then coming towards the stethoscope, world's first stethoscope. It was invented by Adolf Pinard in the year of 44. And this stethoscope was able to hear the sound of the children to be born. Now this is the beginning of dentistry. You can see the person's hands are being knotted with the handkerchief. One person is behind, sitting, putting his legs and putting the heads very tightly so that particularly the person should not get damaged. This is, you can see the eye. The eye of the person will see that is changing. In this particularly, you will find that at this randomization, we cannot do risk with the lens and all the things. Now, definitely, I don't know who have made this, but this is a funny slide. Wheelchairs are typically made for the persons who are unable to walk. Now putting the pedals into it, so in the slide you can see it seems very funny. So coming towards the part, the wheelchair, you will find that certain kind of wheelchairs or innovations must not be made where utilization is there, but there is no certain kind of hypothesis is there. In present scenario, you will see that these were the examples of some past unethical human experimentations as well as some milestones. Coming towards the present scenario, what are the various setups related to the medicaments, pharmacy, medicines, health sciences? I'm going to focus on to it. To start with, there are various medicine system right now available in India? Ayurveda, allopathic, homeopathic, Unani, Siddha, naturopathy. So, coming for the part of hospital systems, there are various hospital systems. The size of the hospital vary in terms of bed size. So primary, secondary, tertiary healthcare, as depending upon the size of this particular beds. So primary healthcare hospitals will have 500 bedded, secondary care will have 1000, tertiary care will have above 1500. So next point is depending upon the ownership of the hospitals, either adopted by private sector, public sector, government sector, central hospital, state hospital, civil hospital, corporate hospital, autonomous hospital, Red Cross hospital, Fortis hospital, voluntarily hospitals of missionaries or likewise. So you will see that depending upon the ownership of the hospitals also, you can decide, you can go up with the classification of the hospital. Coming towards the specialty of the hospital, tuberculosis, TB and chest, leprosy, maternity, neurology, nephrology, cardiology, urology, chest and pulmonary, urinary, skin and VD, orthopedics, dental. Lot of setups are available in India. But coming towards the newer hospitals, NABH hospitals. NABH hospitals are having 10 chapters, 100 standards, 514 objectives, elements, and particularly you will see that this 541 objectives, into this, the third one is of pharmacist, management of medications. So the third one, which is management of medications, basically belongs to the pharmacist. And what activity the pharmacist do over there as a clinical pharmacist? Cross-checking the medication errors, like prescribing error, administrative error, like any kind of dispensing error, patient error, or missed dose. Next is MRD audits, medical record department audits. Medical record department audit means a hospital is over there. In the hospital, particularly MRD is there. And in that MRD particularly, you will find that this record, after the patient goes to the home, his or her file will be put over there. The next things which comes into the scene is drug interactions. There are various drug related problems like drug interaction, drug food interaction, adverse drug reaction. So coming towards when we take some 3 or 4 drugs at a time, what is the friendship between two drugs? Either they are good friends or they are enemy. If they are enemy, then it is called as drug-drug interaction. It can be good interaction, it can be bad interactions. Next point which comes is patient counseling. Patient counseling means interacting with the patient, either telephonically, like in corona phase you might have seen during COVID. So patient counseling part is done to particularly set up the patient. Then data collection, narcotics, opioid, opium, poppy, lysergic acid, dicyclamide, surgical prophylaxis, adverse drug reaction detection, history from the patient's case presentation, discharge summary, OPD, IPD, drug information. International patient safety goals are over there, in which International Joint Commission, JCI 5th edition is going on. Coming towards the medication safety part, there are various problems associated like LASA drugs. LASA stands for look-alike, sound-alike. Look-alike, sound-alike means if we see the drug, any two drug, and its label seems same, then it is called as look-alike. And sound-alike means when we see it, it will sound like same. Like the example is digoxin and digitoxin. Second thing is counterfeit drugs or duplicate drugs. Third thing is substandard spurious drugs. There will be some active pharmaceutical ingredient and there will be some spurious products like brick dust, furniture dust. Another problem is polypharmacy. Polypharmacy means at a single time the patient is consuming herbal drugs, allopathic drugs, Ayurvedic drugs, Unani Siddha, multiple medication system at a single time. Then next come is narcotics and psychotropic substances. So its management, its overall creature likewise. Next point is crash cards. Crash card means particularly the NABH hospitals like Fortis, Asia Columbia, or Gratian Hospital. You'll find that there will be some cards. Cards means the tires. So in crash cards, the medicines will be stored over there. So their ambulatory audit, their audit, expiry date removal, drugs which got expired, buffer stock, inventory control, adverse drug reaction monitoring. So come with the fact files, you will find that the WHO ratio is 1:1000. It means for 1000 people, there should be one physician. Meanwhile, in India, it is 1:1.5K. It means almost the burden is 150%. And where we belong to the pharmacy or nursing staff, for every 483 people, there is one nursing staff available, male nurse or female nurse. Now the question is, either there is any kind of ratio for pharmacists. The answer is no. So in various setup, community, e-pharmacy, or we can say hospital pharmacy or electronic pharmacy, there is no such kind of ratio. In hospital, you would have seen people will, or in home, people will crack the individual unit doses form of tablet. They will do it half. They will take out of a strip. They will dissolve in the water to give to their children, small kids. Or they will do the strip cutting. So the strip cutting is the biggest problem right now in India. It should not be done. Strip cutting should not be done because the printed information on the blister pack, such as expiry date, directions to take, batch number, all the things goes off. Now what is the solution to it? I have arisen the problem, but you will ask what is the solution? The solution is the slide. My friend from Thailand sent me these photographs. Into it you will find that the brand name and the individual information is for each unit dose. Similarly, this slide also, so that if you are doing strip cutting also, it will be a solution. Another example. Now another example of regional language. This is the tablets from Bangladesh, and in Bangladesh you will find every person is speaking Bengali. If we talk about Maharashtra in India, Marathi. In Punjab, Punjabi. So various regions, people will use to speak to understand the regional languages. So with English, there must be some regional language also printed too, so that we can identify easily what the drug is. The problem here in slide, which I am going to highlight, is the counterfeit drugs. Counterfeit drugs means the duplicate drugs which are used widely worldwide with the various system cardiovascular, central nervous, GIT, respiratory, and metabolic anti-infectives. So the third area where the counterfeiting goes off the requirement, there is a rule of demand and supply. So the demand and supply means the most top-selling drugs will be counterfeited in the world. And upon doing the counterfeiting, what they are using this material, poison, common household items, or some habit-forming drugs, antidepressants, no drug at all like glucose or dust break or some salt or some brick powder or some red poison or something which is not very much identified active pharmaceutical ingredient. So this kind of assembly is over there. So we'll see that with this assembly, we particularly cannot run the show. US FDA, after every 6 months, they will give the instructions to update their machinery in the pharmaceutical plants. Then the pharmaceutical plants will send this machinery to the scrap. In the scrap, some technical mind will use it, will take it on very less amount, and they will start. This is a list of the drugs which are majorly counterfeited. Now coming towards the case studies, this is the product of allele called CLS. Basically, it is used for the erectile dysfunctioning ED. We'll find that the authentic and the suspected, you can say, the size is varying. Now this is Viagra from Pfizer. This is the product being used for the stimulant of sexual desire. So by the naked eyes, can you tell me which one is the authentic one and which one is the counterfeited one? Nobody can tell because it looks similar. Now coming towards the part, the left side one was the counterfeited one and the right one was the genuine Viagra tablets. With the labeling also we can find out the pointed border and the trigger font. And when we broke it, we find it in the FDA missionaries. This goes on this. So the source, as I have encrypted over there. So the counterfeit tablet containing the spectacles. And another very genuine parameter or the factor is the cost. So the counterfeited drugs will be easily available, very much cheaper in the rate economy. But when we compare it to the particularly original one, it costs somewhat higher. This is the world's top selling drug, counterfeit Lipitor. Lipitor means lipid lowering. It's a blockbuster drug. Worldwide, it is used. So you can see the more the demand, it is widely used in CVS, hyperlipidemia, hypercholesteremia, HNG3 reductase inhibitors. Next is Serostim. It's a growth hormone. You can see the label. In the label, you will find that it's authentic one label. It is white, more angular of the outer packing. When it compares to the fake one, it is not that much angular. The next example is Prosit, widely used in anemic blood-related disorders, as well as chronic kidney diseases, acute renal failure, as well as chronic renal failure. With the wrapping of the Prosit, you will come to know that yes, this is also counterfeited. Next case study is of Decca-Durabolin. It's a counterfeit one, and the genuine one, you will find that the color is greener over there into the left side, which is the fake, and the real one is bluer one. So by the color also we can see off. This is used for osteoporosis, breast cancer, and certain type of anemias. Now this is Jantec. In the month of September 2019, 9th September, one warning was issued to it. After 10 days, 19th of September, Indian government from the CDSCO, Central Drug Standard Control Organization, IPC Ghaziabad, they gave a warning that particularly this may contain some carcinogenic material. We should remove it from the practice. Certain time, 1 to 1.5 month ban was there. But afterwards, it's a PPI and it is widely used in the GI irritation problem. It was accepted, but its counterfeit is available. Next case study is Poniston. Poniston is mefenamic acid COX-2 inhibitor, widely used to remove the pain and associated with the menstruation. The next one is paracetamol. In the finding, you will see that the spelling mistake is over there, the fake one. The original is as having the left view. Meanwhile, the counterfeited one is having the front view. Then Botox. Botox, it's a widely used substance in treating migraines, muscular disorders, inflammatory bowel diseases. Then Taxim, Tamiflu, being produced by the Aristo Pharmaceuticals. It was widely used during the chikungunya. So in influenza A, B, it is also used. Then it is a product Avastin. Then Ally, it is an anti-obesity product. When you see the outer packing, you will find that particularly when we throw the IR light, the genuine one, the second last alphabet L will shine, but in the counterfeit it will not shine. It is another method. Next case study is Alprazolam, being manufactured, produced by Pfizer. So by the naked eyes, we are not able to make the difference, but when we have the dimension in scales, the original one was considered to be the bigger one and the counterfeit in terms of diameter, radius. Next thing is barcode medication administration. So barcode medication administration in the foreign, you will see it is the encrypted information onto the blister packs. So generally they will put scanner and they will come to know the exact information of counterfeited one or the duplicated one or the real one. But in India, coming with this example of the slide, you can see in India barcode are widely used only to detect the MRP and all kind of economical balances. You can see on the strip already written 41 rupees 12 paisa. But in spite of it, they have put the barcode and put this information. Now, what is the solution? Actually, worldwide it is used. What is the worldwide solution? E-pedigree, electronic pedigree, M-pedigree, mobile pedigree, RFID. How the stuff works, you might have seen in our childhood, when 10 rupees coupon used to be there. When we scratch it, we get number. And after getting the number, we can put with our mobile, suppose it is a 10 rupees recharge, we will get the 7 rupees. So similarly, on the blister packs, you can see that there are certain kinds of pedigrees being printed. UK, US, you will find these practices, UAE. And afterwards, you can send the message and you will come to know that, yes, this is one the genuine one or the fake one. So you should use it or you should not use it. Likewise, the things goes on. There is one lady from Nigeria. She worked for the counterfeited medicines in Nigeria, and she was declared as the Iron Lady. Her nickname was Iron Lady. There were 2 life-threatening attacks in 2004. He declined the fake drugs in the market of Nigeria by 90%. And later she was appointed as the former Nigerian president as a Director General for the National Agency of Foods and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDACA. And her name is Dora. Dora won 930 awards for counterfeit drugs. Before dying, she contributed exactly lot of to the Nigerian country. At the clinical level or post-clinical level, we are discussing how to check out the counterfeiting of the drugs. We are not discussing at preclinical level or laboratory level pre-formulation studies. We are only focusing, emphasizing onto the particular non-destructive spot drug analysis or at the clinical level or at the post-clinical level. So this is a such kind of printer where the medicine strips goes on, the whole data of the pre-formulation studies comes over at the screen, like bioavailability, active pharmaceutical ingredient, all the things. There are some examples of smartphones which tells about the sugar contents of the fruits we are consuming. Similarly, about the medicines, in the petri dish right hand side, you can see a medicine is over there, and if you can go and scan and you can find that this particular drug is not good. Now coming towards some innovative part, world's first 3D printed drug came called Spritum by Aprecia Pharmaceuticals. Likewise, we can prepare at the bedside of the patient and direct administration. Now, if you want to withdraw the blood from the patient, so nursing staff tries more, and there are 4 or 5 attempts to withdraw the blood from the cavity, like this is the tricuspid. And what happens at particular time, vein is not detected into the older patients, into the pediatric patients. So this is the technology called vein weaver. We need to throw the IR light on the hands, the vein will be detected, and easily a paramedical or the nursing staff can put the needle. Likewise, it will come. This is the example of MRI accidents. You will be shocked to know that worldwide only 2 research papers are available onto MRI accidents. So there are several associated fields where there is no expectancy of, say, life. Now this is a funny slide. We have 4 Bisleri bottles. Can you tell me which one is the genuine one? Similarly, we have the family of Shami Kapoor at the down slide. You will see that all look similar. So this is called as look-alike drugs. Example is this. It is a very famous, popular example of LASA, look-alike drugs, LA drugs. Same brand name, but 5 different doses and compound is available in that brand. So suppose first one physician has written and the pharmacist will give the 5th one. Again, it is a big blunder. And what is the solution to it? There are some medicines called sound alike. One is look alike. Second one is sound alike. Sound alike means when we pronounce it, it will be, we can say similar, like digoxin and digitoxin, Betaloc and betanol, Codopa and Cardopa, Imigra and Idigra, Sedno and Cedron, Dobutamine, dopamine. Likewise. So Tallman letters is a method in which we can increase the font size of the letters from which the confusion arises. It's another curious example of LASA. This is the Institute of Safe Medicine Practices where we can go and find the LASA drugs list. Now coming to the other aspect in the present scenario of pharmacy practices, polypharmacy. Poly means 2 or more, pharmacy is the practice pharmacy, either Ayurvedic, allopathic, coming toward the allopathic, coming towards the Chinese, Siddha, Unani. At a similar time, persons uses multiple therapy. So this is called as the polytherapy. Now coming to the example to teach the students how we should know the examples. Like Ranbaxy is a company, very good company, and now it's owned by Sun Pharma. So how the nomenclature of this company hold up? There were 2 brothers. One name was Ranveer Singh and another was Gurbaksh Singh. So from Ranveer Singh, Ran came, and from Gurbaksh, Baksh came, and prefix of Ranveer and suffix of Gurbaksh came, and it becomes Ranbaxy. So it was established by Mohan Singh. The Naipar Mohali also was established by him. Another example of is the drug Comiflame. Comiflame is combination for inflammation. It is a result of translational research. Ibuprofen was already in the market. Paracetamol was already in the market. We clubbed both of them. So combination for inflammation is called as Comiflame. How to remember the crux of the name? Another example is Lasix. Lasix is a diuretic antihypertensive drug, furosemide. So its bioavailability is 6 hours. So it lasts for 6 hours. So it is called as Lasix. Another right hand side example, you will find that V-codeine. V-codeine means 6 times more potent from codeine. So in Roman, when we go with VI, so VI is 6. So V-codeine. Another thing, how to remember. So suppose medicines names are over there, and due to some indication or due to some kind of potency or due to some kind of active ingredient or due to some kind of like low pressure, lowering the blood pressure, or Viagra. Viagra is a stimulant of sexual desire. From Niagara Falls, shows the energy, endurance, force. Likewise, we can go up with. Now, another thing is why there are empty strips, empty space in the strips. So these are there to remove the inertness or to put some patient information, product information leaflet. There should be no inertness while transportation. Likewise, there are few examples. Now coming towards this paper cutting, which states that worldwide only 15% cesarean operations are over there in gynecology department. Meanwhile, it is 4x in India, which is 60%. What is the reason? So we should discover the reason why cesarean lifestyle or due to some any other kind of household habits. This is happening. The drugs, first they are clinical trials, afterwards it's come to the regulatory authority, then it comes to the pharmacopoeia for monograph. After monograph, it comes to the formulary level with the drug profile and monograph. Into the drug profile, like in India, you will find National Formulary of India, and in National Formulary of India, for every drug there is a monograph. Starting in the drug profile, you will find that FDA pregnancy category will be denoted. That pregnancy category A, B, C, D or X. X is chronic, very chronic, dangerous, D and X. Now another aspect is child lock. Child lock means, suppose in your house there are small children, right? They are very innocent, they have the curiosity to visit one place to another in the house. They will go, they will try to open the such caps of the syrup, some tablet packs likewise. So what is child proof basically is putting one time clockwise and another time anti-clockwise, so it will not be opening by the children. So homicidal or home poisoning reduced. Now my another view on expiring or unused medicines, what is the disposable methods? In foreign you will find such kind of boxes, in where in these boxes you can be over there and you can particularly put your unused and expired products. FDA has given the flush list. There are several medicines which can be flushed into the toilet. There are some medicines which can be put into the land-filled method. Land-filled methods, in the land we can have a hole, and in the hole the medicines, solid dosage forms can be put and mix up with the soil, and it would not affect the fertility of the soil, and to the ecosystem and the biosphere they will not. This is the categorization of some medical waste like personal protective equipments, encapsulations comes into the red, greener, bluer and yellower one. This is another box where disposable. Now what are the methods? We can return back it to the manufacturer, landfill method, high burning, encapsulation, sewer, we can dissolve it and into the industrial waste it can go, burning in open container, chemical decomposition. Now next is chronopharmacology. Chronopharmacology means several medicine works at the morning time, several works at the evening time. So morning time means, like I take the example of statins. Statins should not be taken in the morning, it should be taken in the evening, because in the morning they don't work. So the 2018, the person got the Nobel Prize was on this circadian rhythm. Our body at particular time, they work differently, and as per the hormone enzyme stimulation from the body, we should take up with these drugs. Now this is the example of signal detection. There is a drug called minoxidil, antihypertensive. Its side effect is alopecia, means excessive hair growth all over the body. It was a negative thing, adverse effects, adverse drug reaction. It was converted into the positive one. The scientists prepared its sera, biological sera, and it was particularly put it into the hair follicles of the head, so that the person suffering from baldness and alopecia, their hair follicles can come up. Now, coming to the doses titration or the resistance in the body, this is paracetamol 500 mg, this is 650 mg, this is 1 gram, 1000 mg. Now, the same drug is having 3 doses. What is the reason? The reason is, if we take any medicines with every prescription, our body become more resistant with it. And at that time, there will be resistance, the dose will not work. So at that time, the dose is needed to be titrated, increased. So take medicine when indicated by the physician only, not self-medication. Next point is coming towards the anti-allergic drug cetirizine, and another one is levocet. So why levocetirizine was required when in market there were cetirizine? So we might have gone with the chemistry concept of dextro your stereochemistry. So dextro and levoform. Levoform was considered to be the most stable one comparatively to the dextro. So with the problem with the cetirizine was that if you take the cetirizine in the morning, what it will do? It will particularly will cause the sedation in the morning time. So if suppose any driver is there running the bus with 50 passengers and has an allergy and taken cetirizine, it will cause sedation. And suppose if any accident is over there, so the 50 people's again adverse event will occur. So go with the physician's advice only. Antibiotics resistance, azithromycin. You might have heard a lot also about this drug during COVID-19 along with hydrochloroquine. There is a paper study. This is the most drug which is used like a over-the-counter drug, but it is not over-the-counter drug. It is a prescription drug. Most of the pharmacy, nursing, physiotherapy, medical student used to have self-medication of it. It should not be done. Sensitivity test must be done of antibiotics, antimicrobials before administration. Now this is tuberculosis. There is a mnemonics of how to remember the drug's name. There are basically 13 drugs to treat pulmonary and extrapulmonary TB. For pulmonary TB, 5 drugs. Rifampicin, isoniazid, pyrazinamide, ethambutol, streptomycin. Consider your 2 lungs with a group of grape. अंगूर है, अंगूर 2 ही अंगूर है, उनका गुच्छा है. So there are 2 grape and they are ripen. From ripen, ripes came. Ripes का मतलब होता है पका हुआ. So there is a fluid effusion into your lungs due to which this pulmonary tuberculosis takes place. So when this pleural effusion is there, this tuberculosis occur, the tuberculin cell beneath your lung is lysis called tuberculosis. So to remember it, ribs, rifampicin, isoniazid, pyrazinamide. Now we are taking multi-drug at a time, 13 drugs. So multi-drug resistance do occur. So for that multiple drug resistance, this is a drug called bedaquiline. Again, to change the resistance inside the body, we are already consuming 13 drugs, but we need to take this 14th drug also, and pharmacoeconomics also will increase. The next point is, you will see Dilip Sanghvi by the Sun Pharma. He was the owner of Sun Pharma. He is the owner of Sun Pharma, overtook the Ranbaxy, and with his net worth, he is currently standing on top position all over India on first. Second is Lupin, third is Reddy's, fourth is Cipla, fifth is Aurobindo, sixth is Zydus, seventh is Torrent, eighth is Divi, ninth is Glenmark, 10th is Piramal. Now again top 10 diseases. The number 1 comes is the cardiac one. Your heart, angina pectoris, myocardial infarction, congestive heart failure, heart attack, arteriosclerosis, coronary artery disease. Second is stroke. Transient and ischemic, brain and heart region both. LRTI, lower respiratory tract. COPD, your pulmonary one. Respiratory cancers. Diabetes, endocrinology, thyroid, hypothyroidism, hyperthyroidism. Alzheimer's disease, when your brains, particularly apolipo-tau protein is shrink, you will find it, Alzheimer's disease. 8th one is diarrheal disease. 9th is tuberculosis. 10th one is cirrhosis. This is the examples of look-alike and sound-alike drugs. So the Lassa drugs, example, then high alert medications. We can come with several kind of clinical audits like pain assessment, the phase scale of the person we can go up with, first aid for the heart attack. We can activate the emergency medical services and go with the ambulance. 108 is the number for medical, police, fire. This is the first pharmacist from India, passed last month only, Professor Harkishan Singh from Punjab University. He was honored with Padma Shri because of his discovery of one radiopharmaceutical. He was honored with the ex-president of India, Pranab Mukherjee Dada. This is medicine. One person collecting medicine is going door to door in Delhi, collecting medicines, auditing and giving to the needy ones. He is famous by the name of Medicine Baba. And this is the boxes you can see. Another example is of Karimul Haq bike ambulance from Assam. This is particularly, you will see that he was using bike to donate to peoples about all kind of the things. Likewise, this is the example of bike ambulance then adopted by the Tamil Nadu government, by Delhi government. Coca-Cola was discovered by a pharmacist. So coming toward the pharmacovigilance, there are a lot of things: pharmacovigilance, material vigilance, vaccine related vigilance, herbal vigilance, blood ADR related hemovigilance likewise. Now coming towards this example, you will find a referee is having a yellow card in the hand and telling the player first warning. So in the United Kingdom, there is a yellow card. So basically yellow card or yellow farm is denoted in the United Kingdom for any kind of adverse drug reaction. In United States, black box warning is being indicated on the label. In India, this red line is over there, RX and RX, XRX narcotics and prescription drugs by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now coming towards the future, artificial intelligence. The medicine revolutions took place in terms of safety after 1964 thalidomide, 1962 thalidomide disaster. It was termed, the coin was termed in 1956. What is the application of AI? Personalized treatment, drug discovery, clinical research management, clinical trial organization, disease diagnosis, smart electronic health records, epidemic outbreak prediction. Is artificial intelligence is the future of pharmacovigilance? Yes. In pharmacology, you will find a cocaine rat, artificial rat. If students are having a problem to have the animal handling, they can have the practice on this cocaine rat. The Pfizer developed a biomed system with the level of physicians across 200 in diagnosing the brain tumor in Beijing in China. Personalized treatment, drug discovery, you will see computer-aided drug discovery in silico drug treatment. ChemDraw is the software. It was developed by GlaxoSmithKline for in-house silico drug delivery. Clinical research, Paracetamol used this one. Smart electronic health records. MATLAB's handwriting recognition has helped the physician's handwriting problem, where they used to write very untidy and it was very unpredictable to see the prescription drugs. Epidemic outbreak prediction, like the weather forecasting nowadays is done by the farmers also, they check on the mobile phones. Then this is of our city university, where a bionic arm was developed, which works for the paralytic people or the persons are not having hands. It is the world's first artificial pancreas. US scientist comes closer to create the artificial life. You can see where the technology is going on. Now, no interesting, something which is irrelevant, unhard. GlaxoSmithKline is a very reputed pharmaceutical company, and Google, both are working on bioelectronic medicines. Once take a medicine, it will go inside your GIT tract in your body, and via electrical impulses you can go with it. Then Ostuka's digital medicine, you can see this sensor. Then Google filed patent for needle-free blood sampling device. So without needle also, you can see the advancement. This is the paper award I got on IMARC this year only, last year. This is my guide. I am thankful to Professor Sourabh Sharma sir for guiding me during my PhD work. This is the previous year activity I conducted for basic life support on mannequin as a part of American Heart Association team for a School of Pharmaceutical Sciences. I'm thankful to you, sir. Any question can be mailed WhatsApp to me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Saurabh Kosey. Thank you for such an informative and interactive session. So I request anyone from the audience, if they have any kind of query, please they can ask. Yes, any questions from the audience? I think, sir, they have no questions right now. Okay, so then I close the session. I thank Dr. Sourabh Sharma and Dr. Harsh Sadavarti, VC Vice Chancellor of City University Ludhiana, for conducting such an interactive session. I thank Ms. Mandeep Kaur and Manish Sir for all the technical assistance which we have been provided with. And last of all, I thank all the participants, all our viewers and audience who have actively participated in this session. And thank you so much, Saurabh Khosle sir, for all the information which you have provided. I hope that our listeners and viewers might have filled with tons of knowledge. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.